Marcos Lopez's Denali sits here moments after he entered Lake County Jail. May 14, 2025647 a.m. Dawn breaks over Osceola County, Florida. Deputies arrive unaware their building is surrounded by unmarked SUVs. The target, Sheriff Marcos Lopez, about to be exposed. He opened Florida's door to the Sinaloa and CJNG cartels. For years, he used his badge to shield a network of narcotics and bribes. The first clue, not drugs, but a bank ledger showing suspicious deposits. Small cash deposits linked to a community fund led to casino machines. How did federal agents turn this into one of the largest stings in U.S. history? Investigators found Lopez was in trouble long before his badge. In 2019, buried in debt, he met Krishna Patel and Kate Joe. They built a plan: illegal gaming lounges funded by cartel cash. In exchange for protection, Lopez would shield their operations. By 2021, Lopez was sheriff. Patel and Joe opened the Eclipse Social Club. The Eclipse Social Club, a neon-lit casino fronting for money laundering. Surveillance showed Lopez collecting envelopes after midnight. Envelopes tested positive for fingerprints from known CJNG couriers. The moment that would expose him was hidden in one text message. Federal agents called their probe Operation Iron Veil. Every transaction logged, every call recorded for months. Lopez used raids to eliminate competition for certain arcades. One deputy questioned why the sheriff only targeted certain arcades. The sheriff only targeted certain arcades. The deputy questioned the sheriff. Patel and Joe opened the Eclipse Social Club. It fronted for money laundering operations. Lopez visited after midnight collecting envelopes. Every transaction was logged, every call recorded. A deputy questioned the targeting of certain arcades. The deputy was transferred to night patrol. A foreign number tagged Mountain Sunday appeared. It linked to a safe house in Guadalajara. They were chasing a pipeline from Florida to Mexico. Every 90 days, the same signal appeared: package delivered. Agents believed it meant cash, but they were wrong. It meant people, human trafficking. They were facilitating human trafficking for cartel clients, using county resources, even uniforms for cover. It wasn't a side operation, it was an enterprise. Krishna Patel was arrested in December 2024. Prosecutors offered him a deal. He delivered screenshots of Lopez negotiating bribes, and a photo of Lopez handing Patel a deputy badge. Federal warrants were signed, dawn raid planned. Agents classified it as a clean capture. Someone inside had already leaked the operation. Sheriff Lopez was read his rights as the sun glinted off his nameplate. To the FBI, this was just the beginning of a sprawling network. Lopez's phone revealed a definition of corruption. There were ranks, deputies, customs officers, and federal inspectors. Each entry was tagged with initials matching traced bank transfers. Lopez was part of a coordinated network called Southgate. It linked Florida to Texas and California, a bridge for crime. The shock came when they decrypted a note labeled MP10P. MP10P belonged to CBP officer Manuel Perez Jr. in El Paso. Perez cleared dozens of vehicles without inspection. Every third Friday, a car with a green ribbon was waved through. Those vehicles carried both migrants and narcotics. By March 2025, the investigation was codenamed Clear Badge. The mission: expose every uniformed officer working for the cartels. FBI Director Wray authorized a multi-state strike. DEA agents compiled financial ledgers. Homeland Security deployed drones over suspected warehouses. Surveillance teams watched Robin Lopez funnel casino profits. She laundered cartel cash through fake invoices. Investigators realized Robin wasn't acting alone. A CBP supervisor in Arizona signed off on her shipments. On April 4, 202537 warrants were signed in Washington, D.C. The Bureau called it a synchronized takedown. Target: 17 law enforcement officers colluding with cartels. Jesse Garcia and Diego Bono used emojis to signal smugglers. Agents breached Garcia's residence. Under the cover of night, unmarked aircraft took flight. Their targets: law enforcement officers suspected of collusion. Jesse Garcia, a CBP officer, was among those targeted. They earned hundreds of thousands in bribes. Agents breached Garcia's residence at 527 hours. $68, 0 inches cash, and encrypted phones were discovered. The most damning evidence came from Texas. Officer Perez accepted an envelope from a courier. Inside $10,000 changed hands. Dashcam footage showed Perez waving through an SUV. The SUV contained migrants and narcotics. The FBI knew something bigger was coming. If he falls, we activate Blue Echo. Another insider was ready to erase evidence. A warning leaked 48 hours before the raids. Suspects burned phones and transferred funds offshore. The infiltration went deeper than anyone feared. Investigators believed at least a dozen officers were embedded. Cartels weren't just bribing cops, they were recruiting them. The president ordered the creation of Task Force Sentinel. Task Force Sentinel would pursue corruption cases. Phase 2 begins, new badge already in place. The cartel still had an insider. The signal triangulated to a Florida Gulf transmission node. The signal bounced through proxy servers. As Washington celebrated, a chilling message arrived. Phase 2 begins, new badge in place, it declared. The FBI had cut off one arm, but another reached back. Analysts knew an insider remained, but where? The leak was coming from inside the system itself. Blue Echo wasn't a person, but a fallback plan. A secondary mole sat behind a federal console. The Bureau scrambled its cyber forensics team. Within 42 minutes, they traced the login to a DHS subcontractor. Access granted visibility over Coast Guard patrol patterns. Every detail mirrored to cartel servers in Sinaloa. To stop it quietly, the FBI invoked Operation Silent Harbor. Special Agent Renee Caldwell led the operation. But 20 minutes before her team arrived, the suspect vanished. Badge deactivated, credentials wiped, workstation erased. A hard drive fragment stamped with naval encryption tags. The mole had clearance once reserved for military contractors. The question wasn't how deep, but how high the corruption went. Washington authorized full coordination with the U.S. Navy. A small fishing vessel transmitted data matching DHS refresh rates. To the Navy, it was a floating relay. The destroyer USS Bowley locked radar on the vessel. A boarding team launched under night vision. Inside, 2 men in Coast Guard uniforms forged credentials. The cartels had infiltrated the Coast Guard. Data bursts from Clearwater matched DHS refresh rates. The Navy suspected a floating relay for the cartels. A boarding team launched, expecting smugglers. They found Coast Guard uniforms and forged credentials. Satellite routers and federal surveillance data filled the table. The cartels had infiltrated America's coastal watch network. Director Ray's team cross-checked personnel files at Quantico. One imposter worked for the Florida Maritime Center. Ricardo Alante, a DHS officer, cleared the contractor. Agents raided Alante's residence, finding cash and a burner phone. A note read, "Transfer complete, awaiting next port." Analysts found a federal agent's name in the encrypted files. The evidence pointed toward a full-scale breach. Project Deep Lens monitored Florida's coastline. They caught an encrypted packet leaving a government IP. It routed through a yacht registered to a shell company in Miami. Destination, Mazatlan, Sinaloa, the smoking gun. FBI, DE, and U.S. Navy executed simultaneous raids. 12 federal employees and 7 contractors were in custody. One transmission kept looping, "Phase Call Me Ready." No one knew what Phase 3 meant, but it was no longer just corruption. It was about national security. At 52 hours, the command floor went silent. The data stream labeled Phase 3 had gone active. The source, a state trooper patrol tablet. The investigation revealed corruption at the highest levels. It was not just corruption, but a matter of national security. June 2, 2025, the command floor went silent as Phase 3 activated. A state trooper tablet transmitted live highway surveillance. The footage streamed toward an unknown endpoint beyond U.S. borders. The FBI locked the channel and the Navy engaged a domestic override. The USS Bulkley jammed the signal midstream, freezing the video. The frozen image showed unmarked vans on Interstate 4. One van had a DeKalb County maintenance unit, 47 non-existent. Agent Caldwell ordered Intercept 47 immediately. The final stage of the cartel's infiltration was about to be exposed. Inside the cargo bay, agents found server racks, not drugs. The goal wasn't smuggling, but erasing evidence. A deletion protocol targeted federal case files. If those files vanished, the entire investigation would collapse. The FBI cut power, preserving every byte. Phase 3 failed.